You missed the fun parts. So, where do we go? To the main book or to the practice book? To the main book. Yep. You missed some fun conversations we had. And unfortunately, we didn't even record that. Note taking, writing is, when you're a university student or in some jobs as well, it's really important to be able to make notes. When you're not writing full sentences, when you're just writing phrases, can you take care of correction in phrases? Take a look here. Always found ways to deal with problems. Who can do same in future? Who? Humans. Humans have always found ways to deal with problems. Life could become better. Healthcare and technology will be much improved. Already big improvements have been made in life expectancy. It used to be just 50 degrees a few years ago, and now it has touched 80. It might touch 100 in future. We might be able to grow new body parts. What is the phrase? Grow new body parts, fit and healthy. So you should be able to write clear words, clues, which help you recall what you actually heard and what you want to say. Right now, I'm going to just play the audio file and help you understand the language part. And I will try to stay away from the philosophy. Let's see.
11.8 My Vision for the 21st Century. Part 1. Reasons to be optimistic.
Although the world is facing many serious problems at
Although the world is facing many serious problems at the moment,
the moment, I am generally optimistic
I'm genuinely optimistic. What did he say? Generally or genuinely?
Generally.
about the future. Although the world is facing many serious problems at the moment, I am generally optimistic
Generally optimistic. In general. Sometimes I also become a little upset, but I'm generally optimistic. Okay. I'm generally optimistic. What is Simran writing? Me too? I'm sorry, can't join today. Me too, nahi, me neither. Reply. I can't join today. Me neither. मैं भी नहीं join कर पाऊंगा या कर पाऊंगी. Me neither. Okay. Oh yes, neither. Good that you called. Listen, although helps you put two contradictory ideas in one sentence. Although she is very beautiful, she has no friends. Now, do you think a beautiful girl will have no friends? So these two ideas contrast each other, contradict each other, but they are both true at the same time. And you want to convey that, you can use the word although. Although sounds formal. Although sounds formal. you need to have both the ideas in your mind to use the word. Although she is very beautiful, she doesn't have many friends. Okay, like this. In colloquial, format, when you're talking to people, you don't usually have both the ideas in your mind. You say one thing, she's very beautiful, but she doesn't have many friends. This comes to your mind. Okay, you could connect it with but. Could you help them sit here? And oh, we can simply remove this, unnecessary fan here. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Remove this fan and put it here. Both of them on one side. She is very beautiful. And then I said this, and then I suddenly had the afterthought, she doesn't have many friends though. She doesn't have many friends though. Now, this though and although are very similar, but look how we are using them slightly differently. Although comes usually at the beginning of the sentence. Although she is very beautiful, she doesn't have many friends. But suppose you made one point and the other point, the contrasting point, came as an afterthought. It was not in your mind. What option do you have now? She's very beautiful. She doesn't have many friends though.
Friends though.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this time what happened? The second part was not in your mind when you said she was very beautiful. But when you had both the ideas, and normally when you're writing, when you're speaking formally, you plan what you want to say, you organize what you want to say, and that's why, although is more formal, because you use it when you have already planned your both parts. Although he's very logical and sensible, okay, he can sometimes behave very, very irrationally. Right? Although he's very rational and logical, he sometimes behave irrationally. Although the world is full of problems, there are a lot of problems in the world at the moment, I generally feel optimistic.
Stick about the future. We've been worrying.
Part 1. Reasons to be optimistic.
Although the world is facing many serious problems at the moment, I am generally optimistic about.
When was the world not facing many serious problems? If you read history, then you will realize every decade is a small time period. Every century was very much the same. There were same challenges, same problems. Although the world is facing some many serious problems at the moment, I'm generally optimistic
About the future.
about the future. Optimistic about the future. Yeah, I'm very optimistic about the future of the school that we have started. I'm very optimistic about the future of the school we have started. All parents just expect one thing from a school. They want some change in their children, growth in their children, not just growth in their body height and weight, here as well. No. And I believe that they can get more than they are getting right now.
We've been worrying about the end of civilization for over 100. We've been worrying about the end of civilization for over 100 years now.
We have been worried about the end of civilization for over a year, for over 100 years. We have been worried. However, this is not just 100-year-old worry, guys, okay?
Civilization about the future. We've been worrying about the.
We have been worrying. Chinta kar rahe hum log. We have been worrying. We have been worrying about the end of civilization.
The end of civilization for over 100 years.
For over 100 years. For over 100 years, we have been worrying about the end of civilization. By the way, this is not only a 100-year-old problem. We have been worrying about the end of the world for centuries, that this world is coming to an end. Don't you have so many, what do you call it? Predictions, about the doomsday, that the end of is near. The end is near, always. Now we realize we are not going to probably come to an end because we have become so many. And no matter what happens, some of us will survive unless, something happens in our space and something comes and collides with the earth. That could be maybe the end of it all. Otherwise, no matter what we do, even if we go all out war, nuclear war, all over the world, still a few humans will survive. And in the long run, they will, build civilization again.
Now, but we've always found ways to deal with the problems
But we have always found ways to deal with the problems.
face. And I believe now, but we've always found ways to deal with the problems we face.
We have always found ways to deal with the problems we face. Whenever we have a challenge, human beings have found a way to deal with that challenge. That's why we still exist. Dinosaurs don't, right? They could not really find a solution. We have found a solution, so we are still here. Not only here, we are thriving.
And I believe we can do the same in the future.
And I believe we can do the same in the future. No matter how big a challenge we face in the future, we'll find a solution. We'll find a way to deal with it. We'll find a way to deal with it.
Life could actually become much better for us all.
Life could actually become much better for us all. Life could actually become much better for us all. Okay. I said that I will stay away from philosophy. I will, because I said that and I really want to, but I'll say just one thing. The world is becoming more and more transparent. Earlier, there was no one to ask a king or queen, why you are asking this much tax? Why are you taking this much tax? Where are you keeping all the money? Right? The world is becoming more and more transparent, and the world is becoming fairer. With every passing decade, the world is becoming fairer in treatment, equal, more equal. The sense of equality is growing among humans. There was a time humans had slaves. Other humans were slaves of humans. Right? Today, we are taking advantage, but at least they are not slaves. Some people try to compare slavery in the past to what is happening in corporate world today, that the CEOs and the owners of the company, the shareholders, they are earning lots of money, and the other employees are earning very small salaries. But these employees are not slaves because they have the chance, they have the freedom to stop. Back then, slaves had no rights. If they tried, they would be killed. Right? So the point is, slavery and what is happening today cannot be compared. It is just a little bit, stretching your imagination when you think because your salary is not good, because your boss is exploiting you, it is the same as slavery. No way, no. So the world is becoming fairer. Would you agree or not? The world is becoming fairer. Women are getting their due. There is an increasing sense of equality among humans. We all think that we are all the same, and the people who think we are the same, we are equal in terms of we deserve equal rights, we deserve equal opportunities. What we do with those opportunities is up to us, but we deserve equal opportunities. Now imagine if we say a certain group of people will only apply for IAS officer's job and the rest will not apply. This is not equality. Okay, everybody has the right to apply, try, study to be successful, right? So the world is becoming fairer and fairer. sense of equality is growing. If there is injustice somewhere, people are, raising their voice against it. Not for themselves only, for others too. Notice it happening on the road. If somebody is mistreating another person, a lot of people stand there and say, how are you, why are you doing this to this person? So there is an increasing sense of equality and fairness. We don't want to be unfair. We are by nature sometimes unfair. That's another thing. We're biased for ourselves a little bit. We always think about ourselves first. We are a little selfish, okay? That is in our nature because we want to survive. But still, despite all this, we are becoming fairer, and I will say we believe in equality more than our ancestors did, our grandparents did. We believe in equality more. Would you raise your voice if your teacher puts a boy outside school and says, hey, you will study only from outside, you cannot come and sit with the rest of the students? You will not feel good about it, right? You will raise your voice. There was a time this happened and nobody said anything because they thought it was normal. Okay, so the world is definitely becoming fairer and better.
With improvements in healthcare and technology,
Now, this is a different thing he's talking about, though. With improvement in healthcare and technology,
we've already made big improvements in life expectancy.
we have already made big improvements in life expectancy. Life expectancy, it means the period how long you will live, average life. So what happened, beta, in the past? A lot of children born, babies born, died within a year or two or three of their birth. Well, because we didn't have such good health care. Babies were, delivered in the house without any much care, and that's why infection was more common. That we didn't have such knowledgeable doctors who could understand what the problem the babies face, what problems babies face, and that's why when there was a small problem, we couldn't really take care of it, and they died. It's still happening in poor countries. Children die. It is called which rate? Um, infant mortality rate. Okay. So what happens? Children, if 100 children are born, 1,000 children are born, babies are born, how many of them are expected to survive? How many of them will survive? So high mortality rate in infants means less number of children will survive. And in poor areas, that's the reality, even today. But in many developed parts of the world, they have reached almost 100%, survival, means 0% mortality rate, nearly. Okay, 0, 0.5, 0.2 means when 100 children, even less actually, even less. It's nearly zero in many places. And that's why today, parents, now I'm talking about psychological aspect again. Today, parents are comfortable saying that I want to have one child, I want to have two children, because the world is not as violent as it used to be in the past. Even after your child was a grown up, you would never know when there would be attacks come from somewhere and your children would be killed there. So today there are less number of wars going on in the world. Parents are not worried that their children will have to take part in wars and battles. So they're happy just giving birth to one baby or two because they know that their babies will survive and they will support them when they're old. This is the reason this confidence, is bringing, population down, and the rate at which children are born, that rate is also coming down.
People have been living longer and longer lives since
People have been living longer and longer lives since
the 1950s.
Since the 1950s. When India became independent in 1947, life expectancy in India was 36 or 37 years. It means on average, a person in India lived only for 37 years. Now, some people who are not very smart will think I'm lying because they'll think, what are you saying? 37 years means people didn't live longer than that. My grandpa lived 60 years. My great grandpa lived 80 years. What are you saying? People lived longer, 100 years back then. No, that's not what I'm saying, that people didn't touch 100 or didn't touch 90. Some individuals touched 90 or 100 in the past, and they do today as well. But that doesn't determine your life expectancy. Life expectancy is determined by, again, mortality rate of infants, babies. Imagine this, that 1,000 people were born. Okay, total, okay? 10 died right away within a month or two. 100 died before they were 5 or 6, like this. So you have to find the average age by all the lives of these people accumulated, total, divided by 1,000. Then you get the average life expectancy. Those who studied math, those who know what average is, they'll understand this idea straight away. And those who did not, they'll struggle a little bit. If you want me to go into the detail of it, you could ask me and I'll try. Okay. But today, what's happening? You do not see many babies dying, okay, after being born. They live a long life. So life expectancy is growing. Today in India, it is nearly 65 or 57 years, more than nearly double from 1947. So imagine if this growth in technology and healthcare continues, if this development, in technology continues, what will happen? Our life expectancy will continue to grow. Scientists are trying to understand why our body becomes old. A lot of researches are being done right now. A man went and lived underwater for over 100 days. And when he came out, he, his body was, underwent a lot of tests, and it was found that he was much younger than when he went, when the research or the experiment started. His body had healed. No, I'm not talking about the eye, skin, and all these things. I'm talking about the important vitals, like, the lungs, your heart and kidneys and these things. They were in much better shape when he came out. A lot of researches are being done. A lot of studies are being done. And we are very close. We have understood actually the process of aging. We understand which chemicals are playing a role in it. And we are not very far from, if not stopping our aging, we will slow it down. So when you are born and in 60 years you start to look old, that aging will start to take place when you are 120, 130. So when you are 120 and 30, you will start to age. You will not die at that time. You will start to age. You will start to look old. And until then, you guys will look young. And these things are going to become reality. Who knew until a few 100 years ago that you could be cloned? A part of your body will be taken from somewhere, and another person exactly like you can be created. Created, I use the word, okay, because that person will not be born from the sperm and the egg of a man and a woman. A part of your body will be taken, and they will do what is needed, and they'll create a person who will look like you, talk like you, every way similar. Another copy, clone. We have been doing it on animals. We are cloning animals already. Yeah, it is not allowed to clone human beings for other reasons, ethical reasons. Otherwise, we have the technology to clone people as well, humans as well. So if this is already happening, what I'm saying should not sound like a far-fetched idea. The scientists are already discussing these things. These things are very, very much a reality already. You know that designer babies are also a reality. If you want a baby, even though you are an Indian and you want a baby with blue eyes and golden hair, you can have them. You can have babies with blue eyes and golden hair without needing a blonde woman. They will tweak in your DNA, okay? And then they will make some changes, and then they can change the color of the eyes of the baby and the hair and everything. They can do it already. So how you look is not decided by anybody else. It is decided by certain things in your DNA, and we have knowledge of it now. We can change those things, and we can change the way a baby will look, and it will be all pre-decided. Today, parents can go into a clinic and they can say, I want my baby to grow 5 feet, 10 inches tall, 6 feet tall. He should have or she should have blue eyes, golden hair, this way, that way. And doctors will say, okay, 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 done, fine, like this. And that baby will be yours biologically. It is possible, but governments don't allow doctors to do things like this because these things will pose a real challenge. We are not mature enough to handle such technology. Imagine what will happen. If you have imagination, think of the good side and the bad side of technology like this. Yes, 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 exactly, exactly. There are a lot of children who do not choose to have certain diseases. They just inherited them. We call them what kind of diseases? They are born with those diseases. Okay, babies are born with those diseases. So once you come out of your mother's body, there is nothing that can be done about those diseases. You have to live with them. So why? Doctors took it as a challenge and they are very close to solving a lot of these problems. While you are inside your mother's womb, they will change your DNA or they will make some changes there and you will not have that disease. So when they can do this, they can also change your eye color, they can change your hair color, they can change the shape of your nose if you want. However, that can be done today by plastic surgery as well. Okay,
when most Americans lived for about 50 years.
just in 1950s, most Americans lived for about 50 years and Indians lived for about 36, 37 years.
Nowadays, life expectancy is nearly 80 years.
Life expectancy is nearly 80 nowadays. And in India, it is 66, 67.
And in future, most people will live to be 100.
And in future, most people will live to be 100. They will live to be 100. Learn this. Socializing, they will live to be 100.
People often say that they don't want to live to be
People often say they don't want to live to be 100.
100, but that's because they imagine living in an old and
But that's because they imagine living in an old and broken body.
broken body. We've already discovered how to grow new cells
We've already discovered how to grow new cells
to repair parts of the body.
to repair parts of the body. We have already discovered, we have understood how it can be done, how we can grow new cells to, grow new cells to repair parts of the body.
And when we can grow new hearts,
And when we grow new hearts, which we will do in the future,
kidneys, and livers outside of the body,
outside of the body, we will grow these things like in labs, spare parts are made in factories for cars. We will make these spare parts for bodies.
we'll be able to use them like the spare parts of a car,
We'll be able to use them like spare parts of the car,
keeping our bodies fit and healthy
keeping our body fit and healthy
until we die.
until we die.
People worry about world population because
People worry about world population. Yes, there are a lot of TED Talk videos, talking about population and where will the population reach, and when will it reach which point? Plateau, after which it will not go up. A plateau, okay? It will become a stagnant. It is expected to be 10 billion. After 10 billion, the population will not grow bigger. For the reason that the birth rate and death rate will become pretty much, it will mitigate each other,
becoming an
cancel each other. So the population will kind of freeze at 10 billion.
even bigger problem if people live longer. We use them like the spare parts of a car, keeping our bodies fit and healthy until we die. People worry about world population becoming an even bigger problem
People worry about the world population becoming an even bigger problem.
if people live longer.
People live longer. Yes, we will live longer, we will eat more.
However, when people become more educated and richer, they don't need or want to have so many children.
Imagine if the whole world comes down to just produce one baby. One couple will only have one baby. Okay. And we live longer. Then it will take care of the world population problem challenge. The population is decreasing in some countries like Japan and some other countries. But who will understand these things? Who will understand what this Professor Saab is saying? People who are aware what is going on in the world. But if you keep your head buried in the sand, you know, don't see what is going on around you. You know, if you are always consuming nonsense information online and on TV, you will not know all these things.
The challenge, therefore, is to use the technology we have to educate people better.
So the challenge is to use the resources we have, the technology we have, to educate people better. Educate people better. Yeah, we should use our technology that we have to educate people.
And to use robots to create wealth that we can share more equally.
And use robots to create wealth that we can share more equally. Right now, wealth is not distributed equally in the people. Just 0.1% of the world population has more than 50% of the world's wealth, and the rest share. So this is not fair, of course. Are these people so extraordinary? No, they were just lucky to be at the right time, at the right place, and that's why they're richer. Some were not so lucky. So yeah, it's the real challenge. Use robots to create wealth and distribute it more equally among people.
In recent times, many people have been demanding independence.
Yes, in recent times, many people have been demanding independence.
And wanting more control of their own countries.
And they've been wanting more control of their own country. Yeah, true. And every country has some parts which don't want to live with that country. You know, somehow we have such a problem too. You know, all the rest of the world, rest of the part of India has or have accepted India as their country, except some Punjabis and some Kashmiris. They, however, in the Northeast also sometimes they have that kind of demand in Manipur and all. They want to be a Nagaland. Don't know, but these problems are genuine and expected when you have such a big country politically, you know. Political problems are just normal. But small countries like Pakistan have big challenges like Balochistan too.
I think we need to go the other way.
He thinks we need to go the other way. Means no, not independence. Come together. We need to go the other way.
I strongly believe that there will be a world government in
I strongly believe that there will be a world government one day.
future,
In the future.
because our problems and resources will have to be managed at a global level.
Because our problems and resources have to be managed at a global level. Problems need to be managed at the global level, and resources also need to be managed at the global level. See, one country is rich in one thing, another country is rich in another. If there was a global government, it would consider the whole world as one, would just, shift resources from one place to another where it is more valuable. Some countries have so much water, and some countries are just, they have such lack of water. Why not? Why can't we build those, infrastructures that can that can help us share our resources better in a more efficient way? So that's what is needed. But again, like I said, we cannot start to daydream, He's living in some European country where life is much better. But when you live in a neighborhood like India's, like we are living in India, Pakistan, China, um, things are different here. It will take time before this area changes. People need to change, you know. Um, Political leadership needs to be more, I will say, brave and audacious. How many people in India will be all right if they decide to give away certain parts of Kashmir or give independence to certain parts of Kashmir? Till today, we in India think, Pakistan occupied Kashmir is our part and we want it back. Although we haven't had it since independence, except for a few months. Yeah, the tribals supported by the Pakistani army in 1948 came and got got control of that, and we never took it back. We didn't want to, perhaps. Whatever. The point is, how many Indians will be okay if any leadership in India says that we are okay with the status quo? Whatever parts we have will be ours. There will be no insurgency here, and whatever part is left with Pakistan, they will have that. That government will never come back in power for next 30, 40, 50 years. Yes, the next day they will be out of power, right? If Pakistan decides to give up the cause of Kashmir, if their political dispensation says something like this, they will be absolutely removed from power, no doubt about it. So people are stupid here. They are not ready to understand anything. I'm not here for, all I'm saying is people deserve to live happily. But again, which people? People who at least consider that, yes, this world, needs to be peaceful. But if you do not have any sympathy, any compassion for other people in this world, if you're stupid, then you will never be happy and you will not let other people be happy. So this part is over, 11.8. Now I'm going to play 11.9. The reasons to be pessimistic.
11.9 My Vision for the 21st Century, Part 2 Reasons to be Pessimistic.
Reasons to be pessimistic, negative, optimistic, pessimistic.
There are reasons to be pessimistic.
There are reasons to be pessimistic too.
There have always been selfish and greedy people.
They have always been there. There have always been. There are. इस sentence का structure समझिए. There are people. There were people. There have been people. There are selfish people. Selfish लोग हैं. There were selfish people in the past. There have always been selfish people in the world. हमेशा से रहे हैं. आज की बात नहीं है. There have always been selfish people.
And there always will be.
And there always will be. There. ये sentence समझ में आ रहा है grammatically? THERE. There are selfish people. Selfish लोग हैं दुनिया में. There were selfish people. लोग थे, past tense. Are, were, past tense. Be, were, present form. Present perfect. Have plus V3, been. There have always been selfish people. And there will always be. There will always be selfish people. हमेशा से रहे हैं और रहेंगे. बोलिए तो. तुम हमेशा से स्टूपिड रहे हो और आगे भी तुम स्टूपिड ही रहोगे. तुम ना बदलोगे. You have always been stupid and you will always be stupid, right? Be verb है यहाँ दोस्तों. You have always been stupid and you will always be stupid. Got it?
These people will refuse to accept that we need to look after our planet.
These people will refuse to accept that we need to look after our planet. He's talking about Donald Trump. These people will refuse to accept that we need to look after our planet. I mean, they will not consider global warming a reality. Need to look after our planet means consider global warming a challenge. Some people are saying global warming is nothing but a hoax. It is a false alarm. Some companies, some